to Bloody Good Horror.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Bloody Good Horror. My name's Eric, and I'll be your host for this evening, where we will be reviewing Boys from County Hell. Also, I will personally be reviewing the person who wrote the subtitles for this movie. We'll talk about that in a little bit. First up, joining me from Hotlanta, Georgia, please welcome Cece to the show.
Hello.
Next up, from Chicago, Illinois. Not really from Chicago, Joe. You're a New Yorker, but you live in Chicago. You come from the same town I do, which means you take any opportunity to just say you're from somewhere else.
What do you mean? Like not admit that I'm from New York? Or because I adamantly, like, whenever I meet someone here, I'm like, I'm not from here. I'm from New York. We have good pizza. We're not awful people.
Welcome to the show, Joe.
All right, good. I'm glad we got this out of the way.
Next up,
everybody.
Next up from Indiana, please welcome Casey. And hot off the presses, breaking news.
Did Casey just wave? Is that what we got?
Yeah, I didn't even catch that.
Mute, sorry.
Oh, he's
Hello.
muted.
Hot off the presses, breaking news. John Schnarr's about to move back to New York City. Thankfully, I never have to remember Maryland again. I'm really excited.
Listen, you and me both, my friend. You and me both.
Well, so when is the actual move? When does that happen?
I think we're gonna move stuff in mid-July, and then we'll take the kids back, kind of like mid-August-ish.
Oh, so you're gonna have some time there without the kids.
Well, no.
Wow,
Like,
wow.
I mean,
Fuck,
if like
John.
you mean like
are you gonna have
4
another
days?
kid, John?
You mean like 4 days? No,
Listen.
definitely not.
Dear God, John, seriously.
all I'm
Like, just
saying
give me the
is-
address and I will Amazon like a box of rubbers
Right.
to this new place.
Safety is no accident, John. That's what we're trying to say.
Oh.
That's fair. That's fair. It's good advice, you guys. I like that you are always looking out for me. That's what I appreciate.
Yes. Pray and spray is not a way of life, John.
Already, it started already. We're here tonight to talk about Boys from County Hell. This is an Irish horror film. It's streaming on Shudder.
Sounds weird, right?
We're talking about that here in a few minutes. First up, Joe, hard transition. Normally on the show at this point, we'd be talking about the beer of the week, but we want to do something a little different for Mental Health Awareness Week. Let's do the bumper first, though. Stand by.
Beer guts.
Not that the bumper is like appropriate this month, but it's just like it helps my sense of order to have it.
Yeah, it's a weird transition for, So, yeah, we talked about this last week. We wanted to do something to celebrate, probably isn't the right word, but kind of bring awareness to Mental Health Awareness Month, which is May. So every week, instead of doing a beer, we're going to highlight either, a different foundation or resource or, just something. And again, I have to thank Natalie for helping out with this one, our Slack friend. So last week we kind of talked about resources of where you can find, a therapist or help in general. This week we wanted to highlight a foundation, and it is called the Loveland Foundation. And what they're a charity organization started in 2018 by, and I'm going to butcher her last name, but Rachel Cargill. I hope I'm saying that right. So anyway, she started this sort of social media campaign, widely successful Birthday Wish Foundation, Therapy for Black Women and Girls. They raised over $250,000 for her. Yep. So that kind of helped boost and form this organization, the Loveland Foundation. And what they do is, and I'll just read it from them rather than try and butcher what my explanation would be. Loveland Foundation is committed to showing up for communities of color in unique and powerful ways, with a particular focus on Black women and girls. Our resources and Initiatives are collaborative and they prioritize opportunity, access, validation, and healing. We are becoming the ones we've been waiting for. So what they do is they, help support and find, therapy and different resources for particularly women of color and girls and children and, anyone. So it's a great organization. I definitely suggest you go to their website and read up on it because I'm, doing my thing and it's not great. But the lovelandfoundation.org, and we're going to give a small donation, basically from our patrons. We're going to take their money and give it to this. But again, the lovelandfoundation.org. Thank you again to Natalie for helping out on this. And that's what we got this week.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love this initiative. Thank you, Joe, for putting this together, and thanks, like you said, to Natalie for helping out. Love it. All right, guys, let's do it. It is time to talk about Boys from County Hell.
This is it, Senator. Your big break in TV. From the prime time. Main feature.
You know what, John? My first thought was like that title is kind of a mouthful, but it's actually it's real lyrical.
Mhm.
I like saying it, kind of lean into it,
No, it's good. My feedback would be, what the hell does it have to do with this movie? But
Well, that's
I mean,
fine.
I like kind of
didn't-
know, but
Yeah, I didn't quite follow by the end either. I'm like,
there's like a
That's-
girl in the group. Like with this, it's like there's a lot
Details,
of
John.
issues.
Details.
Yeah.
We also discussed in the pre-show that you look
The
more.
way you said that made it sound like there's an issue that there's a girl in the group.
no.
I just,
John's like,
They're
this is a
all
problem.
boys, but like one of the main characters is a woman. Like,
It's all grown men.
they're
and a
all
female.
men. yeah.
It should be people from County Hell, John. That's what you're saying.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Humans from County Hell.
They haven't gotten like Me Too over there in
Yeah.
Ireland
Yeah.
yet. So,
I didn't realize they had counties over there. I don't know. I mean, I guess that makes
Oh, yeah,
sense,
no,
right? But I always
yeah.
think of counties as like an American thing.
we got
I
all
think
our
they are a
stuff
little
from them.
different in Ireland, though.
Yeah.
I think an Irish county is not the same as our counties.
Cool.
I mean,
Geography.
maybe not.
What's the fog like over there, Jim?
John, I'm not sure what yacht rock is exactly, but you look like someone who would be listening to it.
Eric, I find that hard to
Well,
believe.
what
you
is
don't
it,
know what
John?
yacht rock
Give me
is.
a yacht rock artist.
It's
Christopher Cross.
Christopher Cross,
Okay.
Michael
Loggins and Messina.
McDonald.
Got it.
Eric, this would be right up your alley. Like, go on Spotify and just find a yacht rock playlist.
Okay.
It is heavy rotation in the Charnews home.
Well, I'm
I
sure
love it.
John has one to recommend me based on
There's
the
a
shirt
channel
selection
on.
tonight.
Do they still have the channel on
Sirius on
Sirius?
XM.
Yeah.
Yep, yeah, that's number 1 on the presets in our car.
You look
that
like you look
Jimmy
like you own a
Buffett
pair of
station.
loafers, John, is what I'm trying to get at here. That's all I'm saying. John Schnars. You
Eric.
also own dictionaries. Although you didn't need it for tonight's word, I'm guessing. But let's find out. Let's
I'm sorry, no one asked the 4.0 getting in
Oh.
their first year graduate
Cece,
school.
whoa,
what
whoa,
word
whoa.
they
All right,
should use.
your months of hard work does not compare to John moving. All right, come on.
I'm just kidding.
No, you're 100% valid.
Okay, John or Cece, please bring us the word of the day. Go ahead, John. You gonna take the spotlight from Cece here or what?
I was gonna be silent for a second.
To be fair, Eric, you handed it to him.
I know I should have been prepared. It would have been better delivered, but sorry. was not prepared.
I do have a word, and I did need a dictionary, Eric, not to know what the word was or what the definition was, but to know how to spell it. So,
Yeah, because he didn't have a 4.0.
no, that's definitely true. The word is cairn or carn, I believe. Cairn. Cairn. C-A-I-R-N. Are y'all familiar with this?
I am from
Cairn.
the tiny dogs that are called Cairn.
Yeah, no. So that is actually the second definition: small terrier of a breed with short legs and longish
So,
body. And shaggy.
Toto from The Wizard of Oz was a Cairn Terrier.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
I thought it was a white woman that wants to speak to the manager.
That's good, Joe. That's good.
Kern's what we grow here in Indiana.
Yeah. So the actual definition, according to the dictionary here, a mound of rough stones built as a memorial or landmark, typically on a hilltop or skyline, a prehistoric burial mound made of stones.
What's that in the CCU would know this in fonts? The kern.
Kerning.
Kerning.
The
Yeah.
distance between the letters, I think.
Yeah,
Something
that's
like
what it is.
that. Yeah.
What's the curves? The little if there's little thingies.
Serifs.
What's the
Yeah.
curves?
Serifs.
No.
I
no,
bet
it's
you,
not a
John, the
s-
original title to this movie had the word Karen in it, and they're just like, guys, we gotta change this.
Yeah.
We're not gonna fix the subtitles, but we gotta change the title of this movie.
So this one is one of these situations where it comes to us from the Scottish Gaelic kern,
Mm.
and it doesn't offer a definition from the Gaelic. So,
Love it.
Yeah.
All right, Chinars, tell me about Boys from County Hell.
Boys from County Hell. So we watched this on Shudder. I think it was a Shudder original, although I'm not 100% sure.
It had the little logo at the beginning, so yeah, I think.
Yeah. I think at least in the US, it's probably only available on Shudder for now. Anyway, it is an Irish film. I think we should start there. It is among the more Irish of films we've seen in a while. Comes to us from Chris Bow. Chris Bow. I don't know. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. Writer, director. He's done a couple other things, but nothing I was familiar with. The plot here is that it's set in sort of the Irish countryside in like small town Ireland. County Hell, I guess maybe is like a nickname or something, although it's never referenced in the film. You have a group of friends kind of in their like early to late 20s, if I had to kind of peg it, just kind of making a go of it. It's a pretty blue collar area, blue collar town. And so it's funny because the description of this film, if it's like the one liner is about like these road workers, yada, yada, like you don't get to the road working part for like 40 minutes into the movie, but essentially there is a cairn in the backyard of one of the main characters that they say is sort of the original burial ground for the legendary character or person who gave rise to the Dracula myth. So like Bram Stoker is Irish. Ireland is like super into Stoker. I was actually in Dublin for Stoker Day, like I don't know, 7 years ago. I mean, it's like a thing over there.
Fancy. There's a bar. There's a pub named the Stoker or something in the movie.
Yeah, in this town. Yeah, I mean they like kind of live off or kind of celebrate the Stoker Dracula stuff. But there's this like pile of rocks. This is the original Dracula. It's like the precursor to Dracula. And basically what happens is Ireland is going to build a road through this backyard and they're going to disturb these rocks. So there's like a ton of setup to that. But when the action actually starts, you have this road crew trying to build this road. They disturb these rocks. And then there's like vampire stuff that kicks off from there.
Hashtag vampire stuff.
Yeah, I guess the main...
Irish. Oh, I was just going to say that I'm going to butcher it because I know nothing about Gaelic, but the actual name of the deity is like Abhartach, which is Irish for dwarf, and is basically like Patrick Joyce in 1875 said that like it influenced, like basically Dracula or Stoker stole his idea from this lore and made Dracula.
That's definitely like the film leans into that super hard.
Now, is that
Right.
is that real life lore? Is that like an?
But yeah, it is. It's real life lore, and it's a real life like recent folklore as recent as I was reading it earlier. So as recent as like 1960. They have like had arguments about actually no, I'm sorry, as recent as 2000. University of Ulster and Coleraine basically suggested that Stoker stole the idea.
Hmm.
And not stole it, but like that was where he got his idea rather than from
That's super
Vlad.
interesting. And what it does is it gives the movie an opportunity to kind of like tell a unique like vampire like story with the lore and stuff.
Totally. Well, and play with the legends, right? Or like play with the like mechanic.
Right, and like actively use the dispute as like a storyline. That's cool. I like it. Well, Cece, what'd you think of Boys from County Hell?
So I had no idea what we were watching, or like I hadn't watched anything about it or seen any trailers. So I went in pretty blind, and definitely glad that I had subtitles on because, like I said, I do not have an ear for. I'm sure my Irish ancestors would be very upset, but I do not have an ear for that. So, but it was really fun. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a really, I mean, it doesn't do anything super unique, but I thought that, it did a good job of balancing the, a little bit of like everyday humor and just like, slice of lifeness of like living in a small town and having this legend that your whole like community is super invested in. And then I liked, when you get into the gore, like the blood starts just like is attracted to this being rather than, the blood just like pooling. It's like actively moving. So yeah, I thought it was really fun. I thought it had some like Shaun of the Dead vibes. I mean, obviously not as humorous, but there are some moments that really hit the mark. So I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Casey.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with Cece. I like this movie. It was fun. It was nice to see a different take on the vampires. That was the thing I was most impressed with. Like Cece was talking about the mechanic on how they do that the vampire is near and how they left that dangling for us throughout the entire movie. It was really good because it kind of leaves you like, what the hell's going on with these people and all this blood? So that was a good move on their part. And I think it helped us get through. We've talked about this in email. This movie's got a lot of great jokes. It's got good humor. So you're already carried along in that. There's a part where it kind of slows down as you get into the second act. And I think that idea, that mystery, and they still haven't really shown us what we're dealing with and stuff, I think really helps get through that and helps pull you to the end. So I was pretty impressed with how it all came together.
Joe.
Yeah, I'm pretty much going to echo everyone. I thought this was enjoyable. I always find horror comedies to be kind of tough, right? Because a lot of times they just are not good, or they'll get a smile out of you, but not like a legitimate laugh. And this movie, I thought like there was a few parts where I LOL'd, as the kids say, John. So I really enjoyed that. I actually, when things kind of kick off with the vampires and there's kind of like the reveal and things get going, I actually think it takes a little bit of a dive, not steep, not so much that it loses me, but it's weird that the first like 30 or so are more just like setting up these characters, and I actually found that like really interesting, like almost to the point where I probably could have watched a movie just about this town and these characters. And then it does kind of take a turn when the vampire stuff goes off. But like Cece said, it was interesting that they kind of have this different take where the blood kind of flows like into the ground, or I was trying to explain it to the wife, and I couldn't do it well, but it was kind of like a nice change of pace. So yeah, overall I was a fan.
John.
Yeah, I mean, I also really like this. I think, Joe, the point you just made about that first like 30 minutes, it's almost like shaggy buddy comedy at times. Like
yeah,
it's
got a
very
vibe.
weird, right? And you have to assume the director and a lot of the cast like is intimately familiar. Like it just felt like it was like slice of life.
They were friends, yeah.
Yeah, and like they weren't there was not a lot of effort going into like recreating this style of living in this town. Like these people, this is like, it felt like where they grew up. And so there is this element, and I think a lot of the enjoyment of the film, even when you get to the action and the horror, just comes from these feeling like wholly realized characters. Like the dad and son, who are ultimately kind of like the main characters of this film, just a delight. Like it's just like a delightful father-son energy, and like not in like they get along. Like if anything, it's.
I was gonna say, yeah, like it seems like it's not great.
They easily have the two funniest jokes of the movie when he's in the shower And he's like, surely somebody will want to know who's buried there. And the dad, just without missing a beat, goes, probably a pervert like you.
Yeah.
And then later on in the movie, when they're like, his dad straight up is like, one of them's really injured and he thinks the dad's about to hug him. And the dad's just like, what the fuck? He's just like, no, I'm trying to help your leg or whatever. Like, it's just.
Well, I mean, and also like the dad just walks in while he's showering
with
and
a
is like, "Why
skull.
the fuck is there a skull on my table?" Like it's very real life. Like
Why
you
is
know,
this
it
dirty
doesn't
ass
seem-
hand on my table?
Yeah, it's like why? He's not even at his own house. Like the kid had come back to his dad's house to take a shower and
Yeah.
left a skull on his table. Like what? So
Yeah.
I
For me,
enjoyed all of that.
specifically the like just probably a pervert like you with some real Tim Newell energy that I could relate to.
The no, but like it.
Pet her
what's
ass,
fun-
hammer hand, fucking her promotion.
it's both like a really effectively made film, but also, and Joe kind of hit on it, like uneven. Like the
Yeah.
action itself and like
Mhm.
this, I guess it's mostly the script, is just kind of all over. Like if you tried to sit down and think about all of the shit that happens in this movie, it's
Yeah.
like way more than you would ever try to bite off. I would say traditionally, but because I think part of that comes from the fact that they just felt like, hey, we don't actually have to do that much setup for these characters. Like people are going to get it. The setting is going to carry a lot of the, the water here. And so like they do get into it really quickly and that allows them to do a lot with the narrative. If I had to pick a favorite joke, it was, I guess it's like the first guy who gets turned into a vampire when they put him in the pit and he has a stake through his chest
Yeah.
and he like walks himself up.
Well, they're
while all
like
sitting
still
there
have
talking.
continuing to have a conversation about it in the
Yeah.
background while out of focus behind them. He's like pulling him,
Yeah.
trying to pull
Yeah,
himself up.
I was
But that's what I
dying.
mean too. Like it's got a lot of like Shaun of the Dead vibes, but only
Yeah.
in like needing to compare it to something. Like I didn't feel like they were ripping it off by any means,
Yeah.
or like they weren't trying to remake that. It was just very like slice of life types of jokes that you make with people. It's I don't know. The script definitely transcended an acting narrative, and I appreciated that.
It
Yeah.
definitely plays a lot on American Werewolf in London, like to the point
Yes.
they even make like a couple references in the beginning, right? When those tourists are like coming to the bar and
Yeah.
start talking.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you
And
going to
even-
tell
I
me
mean,
to
that
stay away
first
from the
attack
Moors?
is
He's like, this is Ireland. We don't have Moors.
and like that first kind of attack where things start to pop off is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
just like straight out of that book.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I really enjoyed this movie a lot too. It is incredibly funny. Great soundtrack. Joe, I don't know. They actually played Dream Warriors by Dokken at one point, and like,
so weird. Like
every
I don't
time-
know where or why that came.
but
on.
every time like someone's driving in a car, there's any chance for ambient music, they've just got this really great, like I can't categorize it like Joe can, but like kind of 80s inspired metal. Some of it might have just been straight up 80s metal because I didn't recognize all of it, but
I actually watched the credits just so I could see like who some of these bands were. No one I've ever heard of. But yeah, it's like this weird mix of like 80s metal and like Irish folk, but I don't know. It sounded like Irish country music. I don't know like what you would actually
it
call
gives it a really great vibe. This in general is like a setting I really love. This kind of small town Irish life where even in like the modern world, there's still these really almost like antiquatedly connected small little communities, and they sort of the pub is the gathering place, and I don't know how much life is still like this. I've never been there, but it's very like endearing, and like John said, it's a very great setting to get this kind of slice of life with these characters and that are so familiar with each other. I was joking about the subtitles, so I had them turned on. The accents are thick in this movie.
Yeah.
The subtitles on
Yeah.
Shudder are real suspect. First of all, it does this thing that drives me crazy, where when two people are talking, it goes like this. They go from one side to the other. I don't
Yeah.
know. I cannot follow that. And two, straight up, there were times when I know real things were being said, and the subtitles literally said indiscriminate grumbling, and I'm just like, bro, he's saying words. I don't know what they are. You have to tell me what they are.
So Eric,
Obviously, you don't watch TV with subtitles because that happens
Oh my
so
god.
much.
Yeah.
And like, just as a side, like people who need subtitles, like it's really an issue. Like that happens
No,
so
totally.
much, and I took it for granted because now watching so much, they're always like, indiscriminate or indiscernible whispering, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I totally heard what they said.
Well,
you
that's-
just like went too fast.
That was the thing, because there was one specific conversation in the first act where they were like giving plot information and one
Yeah.
line just gets nothing in the subtitles, and I was like, I hope that
So-
wasn't important.
Eric, I was texting you all when I was watching this, and I think I gave you all the heads up, like, yo, I was streaming it on my TV through the Shutter app. I was using like a Chromecast. I could not for 65% of the film figure out how to turn the Chromecast closed captions on, and then I like accidentally did it. It was like game changer because I literally basically got through most of the movie.
No, it's real intense. Yeah.
No idea what was happening at times.
Yeah.
Just like
So yeah, it's got a great vibe. I do agree with Joe. Like the tenor of it changes a little bit in the second act, and it actually changes to being, I don't know. It sort of plays more, especially by the time it wraps up, on some more emotional character arcs. So it does feel like a little bit of a hard shift, but by the time they wrap it all up, I was like, okay, like I was in on all of it because I just think it has a lot of heart in a way I really appreciate it, and you don't always see. Like this feels like a passion project from everyone involved, and I always love seeing stuff like that. So it's pretty low, but it's low budget, and you can see that because like you would love to just see like 100 people in this town become vampires, but you don't. They do what they can with what they have, and they do it really admirably, and it's a lot of fun. Go ahead, Cece. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh no, I was just gonna agree with you. Like I think you're totally right. It feels like a passion project, and you can tell how much like I don't know. I think you can tell how much effort is put into it in terms of just getting across everything that we liked about it. Like I think that makes that's what really makes this movie. I think if it were glossier and done in a like more studio type manner, like I don't think I would have liked it. Like I really think
I really loved the creature design too when we finally see the like real vampire towards the end. And I like, because I'm not really a big vampire movie person, so I liked this because it was sort of redefining the kind of tropes.
Yeah, I did like though that they borrowed from like the old classic monster trope with the vampire not showing us to the end. I think that was like the best decision they made throughout this stuff, and the fact that that's what set it apart from other vampire movies, because we see this thing by the end of the movie. It's not something you would expect to be seeing, and you don't have a bunch of little mini versions that are exactly like him running around as these people are turning. They all kind of got their own thing going, so it kept it some good variety with it.
I loved that they just threw out all of the rules of vampires.
Yeah.
And that became like a thing, right? It was like they staked the one guy through the heart with the whatever it was, like a shovel, and then he's like lifting himself up, and they were like, well, I guess that doesn't work. And they even they even like showed the heart coming out the back coming out the back of his
Dude,
chest.
I loved too the repeated kind of, it's like a plot thing, but it becomes a gag of basically you bury them, you got to just dump stones on top of them so they can't get up. So it's really, it's kind of cool when they've got the one dude in the coffin and they bury him and then toss stones on top, and you can just still hear him rustling in the coffin. Like that's actually a really creepy little touch.
Yeah, and it's not far off from like real Irish folklore and vampires and stuff too, except for with them, they tended to bury, it wasn't necessarily the rocks, but they always had to bury them upside down because they're going to dig downward instead of up.
Well, I mean, that's why, and that's why they put like grates over graves and stuff to like keep the dead in. But I also really liked I liked the beginning too, when we see the old couple and like the wife gets a nosebleed and then like the husband starts bleeding out of his eyes. Like I just thought that was a really cool, like I just loved the whole trope of like the blood being attracted to this thing, or like him drawing it.
Well, the bartender, they like that moment where it's like they're showing the vampire walk through town, but you don't see him. You just see all the people.
Did that
experiencing
scene with the old people make anyone else think about like getting old and like falling apart?
Oh, it was terrifying. It was absolutely. I mean, Cece's 100% right. It's a super creepy way to start. Yeah. And then you also don't really get any sort of explanation or like hint at it for like another half an hour.
Understand why?
It just made me think that someday I'm gonna be like old and sitting in front of a TV and like blood just gonna start coming out of my head. Like all.
Well, they do the like 3. It's like 3 days earlier, but I don't know. It was a little disorienting.
Yeah,
but
it's terrifying.
Yeah.
You know what I think about a lot? This is completely off topic, but do you know how Joe Strummer died? The lead singer of the Clash.
No.
He just got up, walked his dog, came back home, sat down, dropped dead in his chair.
See, this is what I'm saying. Stay away from lazy boys.
Like, what better way to die? Like,
But that fucking terrifies me, Cece. I walk my dogs every morning.
Listen, Joe, stay away from
the
lazy
takeaway is
boys.
never walk
at
a
least
dog.
A, he was not dead. He didn't die on his walk. B, he came back, sat in his favorite chair, and then he was like, I'm comfortable. I'm gone.
Hold
like
on.
that's wonderful. Like
Died of something. Like, did he have like a aneurysm or something? Like,
I don't know. I assume
We don't
he
need
had
to
a
get
heart
into it.
attack, John. I don't know.
You guys bring up a good point though about the like timeline is a little wonky because they go to see the
Yeah.
dead dude's father, and I swear it's like that night or the next night, and the dead dude's father has a story to tell like it's been weeks about his son and like what happened at the autopsy and like
Yeah.
I was at that moment a little. I mean,
yeah, I just
confused.
took it as like the dad was talking. I mean, I totally agree. Like the timeline was kind of weird and like it felt like he was talking about it in a different time. But I also felt like because they knew that this grave was on their property, that they were just kind of like privy to like having
Oh,
to
yeah.
like, you know.
They
Well, it
had
was
a
more for
cage
me that
built into the door. That
Oh,
wasn't like
right.
something they
That's
did. Like
true.
it
that
was more
day.
for me the
Yeah,
time.
but they were
that's-
also. He
it
was
was-
also the local undertaker, right?
It was about the
Uh,
time.
I thought he was
but-
a veterinarian, Casey. That
Specifically,
yeah,
what I'm
that's why
talking
the
about though
dog-
is the time between when that kid died and when the father tells this whole long story. I'm like, hasn't it been like a day? Like, how the hell did this dude have this shit, much
Yeah.
shit happen? to
no,
him?
it was it had
That
been like it
also-
had like 2 or 3 days because they
Yeah.
even did a service, didn't they? I think.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It was like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
funeral.
Well, that
and
scene in particular, I think, is like the biggest kind of I don't know, like curveball of the entire movie,
it's
right?
almost
Because
15 minutes long. Is the problem? with
it's
it.
very sort of not goofy, but like comedy esque up until that part, and then you get this real heavy like
It's
15-minute break of
serious,
like
yeah.
the father embalming his son and like the mother having a nervous breakdown. It's like holy fuck.
Yeah, and
then
the
you
whole
kinda-
movie up until
you-
then has been like wacky hijinks, like zombie hijinks,
Yeah.
basically.
and then you try and come out of that, and it's like real tough to dig out of that hole.
Well, so can I also ask one question? Because I would say if there was one thing in this movie that confused me, what was it that killed the kid when he like gets run?
I
into
was
the
kind of
parents?
confused by that too
Like a
because it
boar?
It
almost
looked like a bull, and there was one of the
Yeah.
characters referenced a bull in an earlier scene, like offhandedly.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
you like a okay, like a I thought it might be like a wild pig, like a boar, but you're saying like a
No, yeah, it
Yeah, I
kept
think it was
getting
a
out
bull-
of their
a bull.
neighbors.
El Toro.
Yeah, like it just kept getting out of the fence, and there's like a whole.
But again, if you didn't have
didn't
subtitles on,
have
you
this
wouldn't.
the closed captions.
you
on,
would
so
not
have
I
caught that.
100% missed that aspect.
Joe, what were you gonna
What's
say?
funny is I thought I understood everything and I didn't use closed caption. And as we talk about things, I'm like, oh, I didn't get that at all.
That's awesome.
I literally
know-
watch everything with subtitles. Like I
I'm
can't-
usually not bad with an Irish accent, but it's real intense.
yeah.
It's
These are my people, after all.
I think my favorite the most delightful character is the woman character. She just
Yeah, she's fun.
Yeah.
very
I agree.
delightful.
I liked her a lot.
You know, it's
It's weird that
was-
you didn't think she belonged there, John, but I agree.
Stop. No, you know what was weird to me about her is she got over that other guy's death really quick.
Right?
It was
Well,
just
I
like
guess she did say
yeah,
that
cool.
she knew he was leaving, so maybe she
Yeah,
was just
I
preparing
think-
herself.
Yeah, I
And
got the
she was like,
impression.
yeah, he was gonna leave, but now he's dead. I'm like totally.
Well, but also like if he wasn't going to take her with him, maybe they were just like more of a fling and not
Yeah.
really like
I thought that
into-
actress was very good. The character was like a little wonky. Like I was
Right.
Well, if she knew he was leaving, like, what's the difference between dead and in Australia?
well, that's
Good point, I guess.
That's Cece's point is, I guess. But she got over it pretty quick. If anything, like my least favorite actor in the film was the main character, which was a little weird. I love the dad. I
The
thought
dad
the dad
is-
was like,
Choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the like, you know, heavier friend who's kind of like the
sidekick.
the sidekick guy. He
I
was
spent the entire movie trying to read what his shirt said. Like, it was
Yeah.
some like black metal esque like logo.
I
I'm
liked-
assuming of like some band they know.
I liked his beard.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't have subtitles on either, so I'm glad Cece, your text last night cleared it up when he
Yeah.
said I did the Coke once. That's not what it sounded like.
Oh, see that I got. I caught.
I was just, I was laying on the sofa and holding Maggie, and all I heard was I did the Coke once, and I was like, what? That's just some shit that my friends would say. Be like, yeah, I tried it once, and I'm like, what? Like we're being attacked by a vampire. I don't care about your past reviews. Like that's not helpful right now.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
fun.
I like movies.
It's Good stuff.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying too with that main character Schnars, and it's not the fact that he was bad; he was just kind of dull compared to the rest of the characters that they had there. I think
He was very much
least
the
for me.
Ted of How I Met
Yeah.
Your Mother. Like,
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I guess you have to be here.
yeah.
Yeah, I got you. I thought the mother's decision was questionable. Did not pay off for her with the
No.
gun. Instant death. Like
yeah.
that was a real good throat. There's some like good throat slitting action in this movie.
Yeah.
If you're squeamish about that, might be a problem.
I mean, there's a fair bit of gore. Like it's not
Yeah.
it's not like a gore fest, and like the effects are solid. They're not exceptional, but it's well done. I don't know. There's
Oh,
a
yeah.
good bit
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah. All right. Anything
Yeah.
else you guys want to talk about this movie? I feel like we're winding down here.
I want to go visit this town. I'm like,
I know,
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like-
Oh, I know it's a
Nice.
gorgeous
Rhode Island.
countryside, isn't it?
Yeah. Just hang out, go to that bar.
Maybe I know we were talking about Atlanta, but maybe the meetup next year. Maybe we could.
I'll tell you what
Yeah,
I'm
the
not.
and we put Andy in charge, and we'll just
I-
wander over the Ireland hills.
I'll tell you what
That's
I'm
true.
not going to do is just ask two random drunk 20-somethings at the bar to take me on a tour in the countryside.
Dude, listen,
That was
that
gold.
shit happens though. When I was in Amsterdam, my friend I was with, oh god, I thought I was going to end up in the Hostel movie. Like I have friends who do that type of shit, and this girl met like my friend. We were with a group of like we were with some of my family, and then her and another friend. She met these two dudes, just started talking to them. They literally followed us around the rest of the day, and then
Nice.
asked her to go to a discotheque. And she was like, "Don't you want to go?" And I was like, "I don't want to go with these two dudes that we have no idea like who they are." She went all night, came back the next day, and was like, "Yeah, they're gonna show me this and this and this today." And I was like,
That
Yeah.
No.
sounds like a great time. I don't know why you
No.
don't trust.
Absolutely
bars.
not. Do
Yeah.
not ever
She had a
trust
great
anyone.
time, but I
Joe.
can't. I'm like
That's
I
not.
did love that though. That scene after they scared the Canadian dude who his girlfriend
Yeah.
said, "You guys have anything better to do?" No.
nope.
Trusting people, not the Charnews way.
No, absolutely
I
not. You
would
kidding
love
me?
to be able to trust people
In this
like that, but
situation,
I
I'm
can't.
definitely with you, Joe.
Yeah. I mean, I've known you all for like 10 plus years. And honestly, when we get together in person, I'm still kind of like, that John guy.
I don't know. It's like if you're in a foreign place like that, and like those were like back, like the best way to experience it is like if you
is.
can actually connect with like local folks. But
I'm good. I'll take the land.
I get that they
tour.
could hostle
Yeah.
you. That would be a problem. That
Well,
would,
I
that would
think
be a
it's
negative.
different too. Like
That
you
would-
have to understand if like the whole group is going, I would feel better about it. But like my girlfriend just wanted her and me to go, and I was like, I'm sorry, but I'm a very skeptical.
Even in this movie,
female.
it's too
How
on.
old
It's,
were you too? Like I'm a 40-year-old man. I'm like,
22.
cool, whatever.
Well, yeah. I mean, now you can step
Exactly.
back
You're a
little bit
man.
better.
You're-
Well, and yes, you're also a man.
Yeah.
even in this
different.
movie, like it's 2-on-2, which not the ratio you want. Like you want to outnumber the people.
Yeah, you need to totally outnumber the people that you're with.
All right, boys from County Hell. Would you recommend it, Cece?
Yes, for sure.
Joe,
Yeah, absolutely.
John,
Yes.
Casey.
Yes.
Also, yes. It's gonna. John, can I put this on my 2021 top 10 list? Is this a 21er?
Yeah. I mean, it's this is the first time we've gotten it in the U.S., so I'm counting it.
Love it. Let's do it. All right. Let's take a quick break. We'll see you on the other side.
The mindless, murderous fury that was buried with Jason has been reborn. Friday the 13th, Part 5. A new beginning. Rated R.
Starts Friday at the Lyons Avenue and East Sprague Cinemas.
This is James Duval from Donnie Darko, May, and Sushi Girl, and you are listening to BloodyGoodHorror.com.
Send feedback to info@bloodygoodhorror.com or or on Twitter using hashtag AskBGH. Join Patreon to get back episodes and much more. Patreon.com/bloodygoodhorror.
And we're back. Congratulations are in order for CC's 4.0.
Yeah.
Yay, CC.
It was
Yay.
that was so enthusiastic, guys.
Graduate
That was
school.
sad.
Graduate school 4.0, no less.
This is true. With a baby and a full-time job in a pandemic.
Dude, no bullshit. It's incredibly impressive. Congratulations.
Very nice. And you do this show,
Fairly
up with us.
regularly.
you put up with this gang. So
Well, I mean, I think it's in turn that y'all put up with me because I know there's been some times that I probably should have just been like, I should skip tonight.
We've all been
Late
slayed once or
cancel
twice.
the
It's
late-
okay.
It's all good.
We've all been decapitated a couple times, but it's okay. It's all part of the fun.
It's true.
Fatality.
Yeah, take of entertainment.
Love it. John,
Eric.
a couple things going on in BGH world this week. Did you know that there's a new Eric show out?
I did see that hit my podcast device earlier today.
Almost an hour.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do with an hour of Eric. It's like this 90 minutes is about the most I can take in a given week. But
What you could do, John, is skip to the end because I play a bunch of my new music. You can check that out. Eric Show, part of your Patreon feed. You can also just log into Patreon and listen to it. I just do some reminiscing about some early 2000s horror coverage. I give some advice for aspiring writers and podcasters. And and I talk about music stuff. So you can check that out. Patreon.com/bloodygoodhorror. Other stuff going on this week in the BGH feed, John. We dropped episode 1 of the first ever BGH Presents production. Plug it up.
and episode 2 is currently live and available.
That's right.
Go subscribe.
Episode 1's on Carrie. Episode 2 is on Ginger Snaps. This is a podcast about female coming of age experiences, John.
Yeah, the monstrous
periods.
menstruation.
Also, you should get excited because Cece's episode on The Witch, I listened to it all the way through. It's coming up very soon here. I learned so many witchy facts.
Oh,
Well,
sorry.
that was one of my term papers I turned in. So
Witchy facts.
yes, just pure witchy facts.
Eric
about
Just
people.
gave
bullet
it-
points.
Eric gave it
9
a
pages.
4.0.
Yes.
9 pages of bullet points.
Excuse me, it was 30 pages.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, check that out. CC is going to be on there soon. Plug it up. They're also on Twitter and Instagram. Plug it up pod. And I'll also ask people, John, to follow me on Twitter, EricBGH, or hi-fi_music to check out. Every Friday in May, there's going to be new hi-fi music coming out, John. Get excited. What else we got going on here? All right, we got an email from Andy going on over at bloodygoodhorror.com. We're celebrating Adam's recent birthday with a very special in extremis discussing the film Happy Birthday to Me and the legal seizure of horror films. Shelton reviewed the synesthesia-infected slasher Sound of Violence. And Alyssa reviewed the recent BGH book club pick, The Luminous Dead.
And also, happy birthday, Adam.
Adam.
That's right. Happy birthday, Adam. We got one email this week, John, info@bloodygoodhorror.com. It has absolutely nothing to do with horror or BGH, but I'm going to read it anyway. You know why, John? This email comes from Garrett,
Is your
who...
boss?
This email comes from Garrett, who I'm going to deem the hardest working intern in the world, because the fact that this email got sent to us is like maybe my favorite thing ever. So
I have no idea where you're going.
Nope,
and
you
I'm
sure don't.
Excited, yeah.
you absolutely do not. Garrett says, "Hello there. Our medical grade toenail clippers is the safest and especially recommended for those with troubles with winding nails, hard nails, two nails, nail cracks, deep nails, thickened nails, etc. Get yours, thepodiatrist.online. All the best, Garrett. You are the best, Garrett.
You're saying
Thank you.
he's the hardest working because he knew Joe had that issue, and then
Because this dude is
like,
crawling the internet
Oh.
so much. This dude is hitting every corner of the internet with his podiatrist promotion.
2 nails. I don't know what that. I mean, John, you're not wrong. I mean, as a runner, I'm sure you know too. I mean, my feet are just disgusting. Like from
it's not great.
I'm not big
No.
into feet stuff, John. The 2 nails thing also caught my attention. I'm not going to Google it though.
my
I just
favorite
feel like,
rapper.
Eric,
Like,
you made this guy's day by reading this email.
yeah, he's finally made it. 2 Nails is my favorite rapper, John. I don't know if you've heard him.
They're
He's
gonna
good.
find so many nail.
2 nails goes
Have-
hard.
Have you ever seen this thing? I used to get it as a Facebook ad every once in a while. It's this like device that I guess if your toenail starts to grow into your toe, it's like a little separator, and like somehow you like put it in there and it like pulls your toe up. Or like the curling,
I've never seen it.
it like pulls it back. So if your toenail
You're
starts
talking about
to,
on
like,
the
curl-
sides?
Yes, yeah. You can. It like has little clips that go to the side, and
Oh
it'll like
my-
pull them back up.
Oh, that
and
hurts.
I guess I didn't
You
realize
like
this
wear
was a
while you're
thing.
sleeping? Like how does?
I don't. It looks like a little medieval torture device, and I didn't. I thought this like was a bullshit ad I kept getting, so I googled it, and there's like YouTube videos of
Well,
this
now
thing
you're
working.
going to see it forever, Joe. You fucking Googled it.
It's fucking nuts.
You know
I mean,
those
I-
are targeted, right?
Yeah, I mean, what else? What else you gonna do?
Anyway, John, check out. I really like .online. Check out the podiatrist.online. That's like a domain, John.
I'm not gonna do that. I won't go anywhere near it.
You're
but-
lost, buddy.
Yeah.
Just live with thickened nails. Fine.
Yeah,
That's
we've
fine.
seen your toenails.
No,
We're
I
trying to
haven't, but I
help
will.
John.
If you show us
I
any picture.
don't want to see these things.
Info at
Pedicures on my toes.
bloodygoodhorror.com. That's it. No one sent a real email this week except Andy.
I did get one on Facebook from our friend Elaine, and I'm only reading this because I thought we would find it interesting. So I'm listening to your latest podcast on Godzilla versus Kong, and you guys were speculating as to whether or not flat earthers beef with hollow earthers because there can only be one. I'm here to tell you, according to my absolute lunatic of a father, that both are right.
What? Shut
Basically-
up.
Yeah, no. Basically,
Wow.
Earth is donut shaped and is both flat and hollow somehow. Just thought you guys would like to know that there actually are people who somehow manage to believe both.
Okay,
Uh,
what's
Wait, it's like a flat donut though. It's not
Yeah,
like a.
yeah. He's also a QAnoner, if that clarifies anything.
it does. Joe, what is
No,
this
it doesn't.
person's name?
Elaine is all I know.
Elaine,
Elaine, yeah.
thank you so much for writing in. We are terribly sorry you're
Yes.
dealing with this.
Wait,
but you,
there is a little more though.
we love
he's been doing
this.
research on YouTube the last few days since we saw it. He vehemently, honestly believes these things. But the moon is not hollow. It is either a hologram or has a Nazi base on the dark side, depending on the day you ask.
Oh, I've
Fucking
seen that movie.
bananas.
Wow. That is a lot.
Elaine, thank you for writing in.
Yeah. Is
Man.
Elena, is it the one with the E at the end? Is that Elena?
I would say that's Elaine.
Elaine? All right. I'm sorry, Elaine.
Man, that I watched that QAnon documentary on HBO. Could not turn it
Yeah.
off, dude.
Oh, I don't know if I want to watch that.
Well-
It's so good. but
Okay,
I mean,
Yeah,
like,
Joe,
finish
here's
it
what I
off.
would
It's
say.
good stuff.
The first,
frustrating, but like it's really good.
I would say the first episode where they're like outlining what it is the most like enraging one. But then this
Yeah.
like real deep narrative about these people develops. You will not be able to stop. It's just
All right.
from a production standpoint too. It's one of the like coolest put together docs I've ever seen.
I was
Yeah.
so impressed.
It's HBO Max, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
All right, I'll
called
give-
Q Into the Serpent or something like that.
Yeah.
Into the Serpent, something like that.
Into the Storm.
Storm, yes.
Eric,
Um,
did you want to take a look at your top 10 list before we?
Yes, please. That sounds wonderful.
Yeah. Number 1, you've got Promising Young Woman. Number 2, Saint Maud. Number 3, The Stylist. And then at number 10, you have Psycho Gorman.
Ladies' Night. This feels like a number 9 to me, Joe.
Oh, all right.
You know what? Number 9. Well, we're gonna leave Gorman at 10 for now, but I'm getting real hard eyes for that movie as we go on here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is Hard Eyes good or bad? I actually don't know.
Heart eyes, like the emoji.
Oh,
You know?
heart eyes.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
know. I thought you
interesting.
said hard eyes.
Yeah, it's hard to
and I
say
was like,
that,
I don't,
but
Oh,
you know
so
what I
I
mean.
don't know what that means.
So yeah,
Um,
thanks, Joe.
You want to do tweets?
I would love to.
We are on Twitter at BG Horror. You can use the hashtag AskBGH to send in a question, comment, or compliment me. First up from our buddy Jody, who hosts the trivia every Saturday night on the Slackies for the patrons. The Jody Webster is his handle. Possibly a Joe specific question. What is the best Kanye West album? I thought it was his early stuff, but I listened all night while I worked, and now I think My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is the highlight.
It's the correct answer. It's not even close in my opinion.
That is my answer as well. Although I'm really partial to the first one as well.
Yeah, and I should preface this, like, I don't like any rap that came out after 2000. So
Oh, dude, Joe, that early Kanye stuff is really good.
No, what I'm gonna say is I like what is that, High School Dropout or whatever? Like I love that.
Yeah.
The first one I love. Like I think it's amazing. The second one, pretty good. The rest, a lot of bleeps and bloops.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about Twisted Fantasy is that like his first album is really really well done, but it's kind of like it's not really experimental. Like Twisted Dark Fantasy is kind of the peak of his like genius growing to like his just understanding of music, and then it was like, but then he is off the rails after that album pretty much.
Look, Eric and I don't agree on music stuff all that often. Strong agree here. That's I don't, and look, I'm not like a hip hop rapper.
Joe, there's a lot of tracks on that would be real good for that epic running playlist of yours.
I'm looking, and I do know a handful of these songs.
All of the Lights. It's a great track.
Yeah, I've never listened to this from start to finish. I mean, it's fine, but like to your point, I don't like experimenting in my hip hops. I just like straightforward.
I like what I liked in high school, and I am not a
100%.
I don't like experimenting.
Yeah,
Joe,
I will-
more.
Yeah, like anything I like, metal and stuff, I will try. I'll listen to anything, but like I have a specific type of rap I like, and that's
what
pretty
about
much
like
it.
Kendrick Lamar? That's maybe closest.
Absolutely not. That is
Really?
not even rap. That is
What?
Your fucking what is Chance the Rappers and all that.
No,
like,
no.
I'm
Kendrick
really
Lamar and Chance
upset
the Rapper
that
are
you
not.
aren't a fan of Gucci Mane. Like that really kind of like hit close.
Joe, Kendrick
not at
Lamar
all.
and Chance the
No,
Rapper are
like-
not the same thing.
I know, but they are in that I don't think they're rap.
See, some of that early Kendrick Lamar stuff is as close to that like early '90s West Coast stuff as you're gonna find in modern times.
You will never change my mind.
This really bothers me.
I like that Flo Rida song, My House, and that's it.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. You got any Mace on that playlist, Joe? I was big into Mace when I was like in high
I
school.
do have like a few songs he's featured on. Probably.
I'm sure we've
What's
talked
the-
about this before, but that All About the Benjamins rock remix, that's my
Oh
jam.
yeah, with what's his name? Dave Grohl does the.
That is a hot jam right there.
I always like that Mace. My favorite line, like ever. Never been arrested for nothing domestic. Like,
Jesus.
he put that in a song that was like on MTV. It's like this
Yo,
happy.
So Maggie really is like super into music, and so if she won't watch like Sesame Street, I turn on music videos, and with subtitles, I never like I would say 80% of the music that was in the like 90s, I had no idea what I was singing, and there's some like either super ridiculous or
Raunchy.
extremely horny and raunchy lyrics.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I think we've discussed this, but I knew all the words to the Doggy Style album when I was 10 years old.
Oh, well, yeah.
We turned out okay. Look at us. We're on
Yeah,
a
I'm doing great.
podcast.
Joe, you ever listen to that Warren G album? That's pretty good too.
Not a ton. I listened to the Above the Rim soundtrack, which had Regulator on it, and that was
That
pretty
like
much
West Coast early 90s sound was my wheelhouse.
Yeah, me too. Although I mean, I definitely liked The Woo and Nas and some of that, but for the most part, I was very West Coast. Fuck Biggie. I'm gonna say it right now.
Yeah, I'm
Fuck
not the
Biggie.
biggest fan.
Fuck Bad Boy as a status record label and as a crew, John. And if you're
And
down
as a
with Bad
crew.
Boy, fuck you too. Chino XL, fuck you too.
Oh, jeez.
Dude, that song is nuts. I heard that song once and I was like, this might be a crime, this song.
It is so angry, and I love every second of it.
That's hit 'em up for the youngsters out there. That's what I
Yeah,
was talking about.
masterful. All right, we should move on.
You're looking to get hyped up to murder somebody, Hit 'em Up is the song you want.
It is just like brutal.
Like if you need that little extra touch to push you over the edge to actual homicide, that'll do it.
Like there's a ton of like diss tracks out there, and like that's the only one I can think of that is just so venomous. Like
Yes.
unreal. All right. Deus Ex Manatee, my friend Renee. Do you think you'd stand a better chance surviving vampires, zombies, or aliens?
Oh, vampires.
Yeah,
They
have
are the weakest of that group, right?
yeah, like they have the
Well,
most. Yeah,
I mean, vampires, it depends on what version of vampires. I mean, because a lot of vampires have like additional, like they, either have psychic abilities, they have like kind of, like, I don't know, controlling abilities, but at least there's like a set, like, I don't know, regardless of what type of vampire it is, there's still rules for those vampires. Aliens can do whatever in the hell they want to do. And then zombies, even slow zombies, there's just too many of them. And at some point,
I'm gonna say there's
you're
a
gonna slow
chance.
down.
I'm gonna say there's a chance with aliens though, because they could be here just like on a reconnaissance mission.
Yeah.
Which
it
will never happen with those other two things.
The
They
aliens.
may just enjoy butt stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
They might just be looking for some butt
okay,
stuff.
but my point is, if you get taken up into a spaceship, like your chance of survival, like, are you just going to be a pet?
We
Like,
saw that.
are
We
you-
saw that
No, that's
movie.
If you're in the spaceship, you're done.
We
Like,
saw that
you're-
movie where the people where they were like about to like blenderize up somebody's butts and then they like escaped out the garbage chute. You remember that found footage alien movie we watched?
Yes.
They did
Oh,
escape
God.
in that movie. They like jumped down the chute.
yeah.
I think they then died when
but
they
the-
hit the ground, but still.
The
I
debate
thought they
rages
just dropped the camera.
All right, here's a good one from our good friend Whitney. What's your go-to hot girl summer drink?
Nice.
Whiskey?
Mm.
That's
Yeah.
a lie. Margaritas. I've
Yeah.
really gotten into
Margaritas is
tequila
an
since
easy answer.
Kyle is all about some this new tequila he found. He's really into Corvette Summers, and I'm more into just tequila and lime juice.
It's probably a Sam Adams summer ale for me. That's probably the most basic thing I get excited about.
I finally put together the ingredients to make Mai Tais at home, and it's changed my life. Big fan.
I always like the good Liney's summer shandy in the summer.
My
But I
problem
mean,
with-
I'm not gonna hate on White Claw, like a lime or
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a couple of flavors of White Claw that I'm like, I can get behind this.
My problem
Yeah.
with shandies is like I'm buying a beer and you have now cut my beer. You're giving me less beer,
Yeah,
and that bugs me.
Yeah.
agreed. All right, Maud Amsterdam, our friend Liz. No question, just two things to say as I catch up on back episodes while on the road. One, kudos to you guys and gals for going to therapy and talking about it publicly. Two, big diva cup proponent. Questions? I'm your girl. Casey, yes, it's messy. I don't give a fuck at all.
Who's this?
Who
All right.
who wrote this?
Maud Amsterdam,
Awesome.
Liz.
I love it.
Which
Oh,
at first,
I think her name used to be something Ches, like something, I don't know. Anyway, I'm here. I'm a huge Diva Cup proponent as well, so
Oh.
support it, girl. I think I know who this is. I think she changed her name, like her username.
I originally thought her Twitter picture icon was a colorblind test, and I did not care for it, Liz. But then I looked closer, and it's like flowers or something. It's very nice.
Joe, my therapist is about to take a leave of absence because he's having health problems. So I might need that
Oh, no.
tool. I
Mine-
might need that tool from last week.
Mine went on pregnancy leave before I got pregnant, and I was like, I hate you.
Yeah.
It
great,
took me a lot
especially-
to be like, I understand you need this time.
Yeah. If you have abandonment issues, that can't be good.
Right.
Mine took a week off last week too. And at first I was like, oh, I got like a Friday free now. And then like Friday afternoon, I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
I can't recommend it enough. It's
Yeah.
been life changing for me.
All right.
And I'll also, I'm a huge proponent too, since we're talking about therapy. Even if you are already married, I think couples counseling, even if you don't have like a major issue, is, I mean, a game changer as well. However, if you are getting married, I definitely recommend a couples counselor, just because there's things that, you think are just like smaller issues, and not that they need to become bigger issues, but the way that you communicate with each other can change over time. And it's good to just be aware of that. And I think a lot of people don't understand that, like, you don't have to go to therapy if there's a problem. Like, you can go to therapy to like preemptively keep there from being a problem. And that's, I'm all about it. Like, I think that everyone should have to go to couples counseling before they get married.
There you go. Yeah, I guess you always hear these stories about these couples that are married for like 80 years, and then one day, like, he or she just snaps and is like,
Yeah.
I can't fucking take the way you chew food anymore. And I snapped him in the neck.
Kyle and I went to couples therapy, and not for family issues, not for issues between he and I, but obviously, like, those like family issues like can bleed into your marriage. And right after, we went for basically like, I think like a year and a half, but we also moved into a 500 square foot apartment. And I also recommend that if you want to know if you can spend the rest of your life with someone, literally live in a room with them where you can't slam a door, and you'll learn all kinds of ways to,
Jesus Christ.
communicate with one bathroom.
All right. Our buddy Skizbot. That's Skylar. What's your favorite carb? Give me that fucking pasta.
Yeah. We actually had angel hair pasta with, my wife just put olive oil and a little bit of cheese on it tonight. It was unbelievable. Like, I was just like, why don't we eat this every night? Like one of those.
Yeah, you don't
things.
need pasta sauce, dude. A little garlic, cheese, yeah. Good to go.
Yeah.
Butter. I'm more of a bread person than I am a pasta person.
Yeah.
Both. I used to eat bread sandwiches, but I've also just eaten plain pasta for my entire life. So both of those.
I like a pasta sauce. Like, don't get me wrong. But...
Oh yeah, but
Mine would be beer. That's tough.
Yeah.
So we've, everybody's had.
Hold on, alcohol was included in this?
Well, beer is pretty heavy in carbs. Joe.
yeah.
Oh fuck. What if you only eat carbs, Joe? How do you answer this question?
I'm with Eric though. Like, bread is a tough one. Like, we've been trying to cut down on the carbs, like, just,
So
not like keto or anything, but like scale back a bit. And it just like coincided with me like finally getting the hang of like sourdough and bread in general. It's not great. I made over the weekend for the missus a country loaf with cherry and dark chocolate. It was fucking unreal. Like, not to toot my own horn.
That sounds pretty good.
Delicacy for like Mother's Day.
It was so good. All right. Robale, that is Rob Ale. Eric used to call the sci-fi channel Siffy. So does that mean hi-fi is hiffy?
Oh, son of a bitch. You know what's funny about hi-fi?
it.
Okay, so like I liked that name. So for people who don't know, I make like 80s horror inspired like synthwave music. I liked hi-fi, obviously, like it's like an audio thing, Joe. You're familiar. But I needed to like sort of retweak the name. There is a word though that gets used by young people, hyphy, which totally means something else. And the good thing is that pretty much mostly old people listen to my music, so it's fine. But yeah. And I started calling Siffy that because for people who don't remember, they used to be like just SCIF, the Sci-Fi channel, and then they hired some like dinkus consultant who was like, you should change it to HY, like SYFY. But no, I was just trying to subvert copyright laws mostly, Joe, and find a URL that I could use.
I like it. All right, we got 2 more on Twitter, then we'll jump to Instagram. Our buddy Chase, big hat enthusiast. In the wake of Star Wars Day, is it time for horror Star Wars? And what would that look like?
There was a
Ooh,
horror
that could be
Star
cool.
Wars game that was being developed for a long time that never came out. That I think got lost in some of the rights stuff that was going on.
I mean, you got some like legit, like the Rancor and the Sarlacc pit.
I
Like,
think there's actually
horror
been.
elements
I think
there
there's
for
been a
sure.
lot of horror stuff in the like expanded universe fiction too. Like
Yeah,
the book
Yeah,
stuff.
there's some good stuff. There's a good book called Death Troopers
Right.
out there. It's about zombie stormtroopers.
That's awesome. That sounds
Yeah.
I bought a Star Wars watch yesterday, John.
nice.
Congrats.
Like the Garmin, like special edition Darth Vader one.
Fancy.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's a purchase.
It was it was a splurge of the moment thing. I'm very excited for it to come. All right, one more from Rob L. Everclear, Wheatus, Hoobastank, and Living Color are touring together this year.
Wow.
Thoughts?
Man.
No, thank you.
Living Color is pretty
mean-
dope.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
Living
like-
Color's cool.
Color, and I mean, I listened to some Everclear when it came out.
Living
What was the
Color
other
was
one?
like Living Color was pretty ahead of their time too in some ways.
Mhm.
Did we just have any more songs than Teenage Dirtbag?
But that's such a good one.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
That's
sure they
alright.
did, but I don't know that it was any popular ones. What movie was that in?
Oh, I think like every 90s movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
There's a
say
lot.
Can't Hardly Wait, but that probably
No,
is.
it wasn't Can't Hardly Wait. It was. I feel like it was after that, but
Hmm.
yeah.
All right, over at Instagram, we are on there. Bloody Good Horror. Every Tuesday we post up. You can send in questions. I'll make dumb comments, and then we'll read the questions here too. But first, as usual, our friend who refuses to use the form. The crew is looking good tonight. What's everybody's first hot girl summer activity besides theater going? I think I might buy some roller skates. Like, what is hot girl summer? Like, now that we're gonna go back out, like that's
Thank
Well,
you, Joe.
yes,
I
so
was
Hot
going to
Girl
ask the same
Summer-
question.
So Hot Girl Summer is really more about like getting wild and like just going all out.
Going and getting
like,
some ass.
embracing the like, you know.
Get on those
It-
dating apps, Joe. Swipe right.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
Hot Girl Summer is about like getting out, being loose, doing your thing, doing what you want to do, like sexually, physically, whatever. So like Hot Girl Summer is like now that because we've been inside for a year, it's like, you know, go
I-
share bodily fluids with whoever
I'm
you
real
want
excited to go to
Use your
like
backs.
I'm really excited to find some horror conventions. Unfortunately, like the one closest to me in 2020 basically folded, and like I don't think they're gonna have it anymore. There was one in Worcester every year, but
That's
to.
dark.
I mean,
it's about as hot as I get.
yeah, I mean, I guess just traveling.
I don't know, like if like hot girls, like I want to fuck. Like the wife and I were gonna fuck.
You guys
Like,
waiting?
I don't know why you had
we're
to say
gonna-
it like that.
You guys
We're
been
gonna go
hold-
away for the weekend. We're trying to find a place with like a hot tub outside. We can fuck.
Yeah.
Just do some fucking.
Exactly. So that's hot girl shit.
Yeah.
Get out there and do hot girl shit.
Like
Although, please
like-
make sure that's a clean hot tub because
yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
I should say I'm not going in the hot tub. Those are disgusting. But you know,
Yeah.
like get high and drunk at the same time, and then like like, fuck a lot.
or
Just-
try
just be-
to and then pass
Listen,
out.
Yeah, just be
Uh,
careful, Joe. Who were you talking about that dropped dead earlier? That sounds like a real strain on the heart there.
But
whatever.
maybe that's Joe's way to go. He doesn't want to sit in his chair.
Yeah, I mean like that.
Yeah, it could be worse.
I don't want to get back from a walk. I want to be fucking railing my wife in a.
Although I don't know how Leslie would feel about that. Like I don't want. I wouldn't want my husband.
Right. That's
to
great
die
for
with
Joe.
thrust
Not
on
so
top of
much.
me.
Not so much her.
Trust me, she'd be perfectly fine.
Well, with you being dead, yes, but not the
On
act
top
of you
of
dying
her.
on top of her.
Well, not to get into too much detail, but she gets hers first, and then
Okay.
so she'll
Well,
be perfect.
I mean, that's the only way you
Well,
can go,
she has
Joe.
to move
She'll be,
your
she'll
dead
be
body
taken
off of
care
her.
of, Cece. Don't worry. Like,
Yeah,
I
see,
have
but like
no
you guys,
worries about that. I have no worries. I'm just saying.
I see CC's point of view because like you guys have all met Colleen, and if I died mid-stroke on top, she's not gonna make it.
I cannot
She
handle
doesn't
this
want to call
conversation
Delaney and be
anymore.
like, "I need you to help me."
We gotta move it
I
on.
cannot
We
take
gotta
this.
Move this along.
all right. Next question. If you're giving a rim job, what is your? No, I'm kidding. John.
Oh, Jesus
I'm like,
Christ.
damn, these are some real hot girl like questions. is going on.
This one, I don't know if anyone will have an opinion, but me. Who would win in a fight, Andy Cohen or Anderson Cooper?
Anderson
gonna go with
Cooper looks
Anderson
like
Cooper.
he
I'm
works
gonna
out a
say
lot.
Cooper.
Really? I would go Andy.
I
Anderson
think
Cooper.
Anderson Cooper fight dirty.
He strikes me as the kind of guy
Yeah.
that's been working out for years, just waiting for someone to mess with him so he can prove himself.
Exactly.
He's wiry.
And yeah, Andy Cohen is scrappy. I'll give him that. Like he could put up a good fight, but I feel like Anderson Cooper is just like he's like a duck. Like he's very calm, but like there's a lot of stuff going on, and I think he's just waiting for the opportunity to like wreck someone.
Yes. Yes.
I could see that. Next one. Remember when we were all out of toilet paper? That still haunts me in my sleep.
I never ran out.
That was a weird couple weeks.
Yeah.
We never ran out.
See,
Like we never had issues.
because
right?
because I work in news, John, and I'm paranoid. I stocked up on stuff before the world started freaking out. So by the time the toilet paper started running out, I was already set.
Yeah, I mean it's good. We got ahead of it enough that it wasn't like a complete disaster, but
Yeah.
still, I got a little. There was like some anxiety. It generated some anxiety, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still some whispers of, shortages of other things down the road, and that kind of stresses me out. But, it's hot girl summer. We'll deal with that when it gets here.
What are the things?
I mean,
CC?
John,
Like gas and like diapers. Like they talk about diapers like skyrocketing in price. And
John, a huge
there's
percentage of the
few other
a huge
things.
percentage of the country refuses to get the vaccine, John. So I would save some of that anxiety maybe for later.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a good point.
All right. Do you review foreign horror movies? I just don't recall you covering any. And then asterisk foreign language films.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
We
do. I
did-
don't, we haven't done one in a while.
Was it
but
last
definitely-
year we did that Spanish thing? You guys loved it. I wasn't a big fan. But with the
Oh,
detective.
Tigers
Yeah.
are not afraid.
No, Tigers Aren't Afraid was different. This was it was like a possession kind of movie.
Yeah, Lutz or whatever.
Oh,
Lutz,
you love-
yeah.
Still
Lutz.
not the one. But yes, the answer is yes, we do.
Yeah.
We do. I mean, we cover. I mean, I would say for us, it's like something kind of has to like.
I'm talking about the one with
Crack
the little
into-
boy zombie like sitting at the breakfast table or something.
Oh yes, I do remember that. I don't.
That
remember the
movie
name.
was actually pretty goddamn
Yeah, I
scary.
remember that
Yeah.
now.
That was
I loved it.
Argentinian.
I'm sure we
I
could
have to
look it
look.
up. I think.
I
Well,
think
yeah,
they're-
if you would have said it with the Argentinian movie, I would have got it right away.
Okay.
Um,
I apologize.
No, I like the thing I was saying is like I feel like something has to kind of like break through a little bit. Like it's got to be like somewhat in the conversation in the U.S.
I
first.
also,
Yeah.
and I also think since quarantine, we've been a little like, I just don't have it in me to read subtitles for 2 hours. Like,
No,
Yeah.
come on. If there
Well,
was
no.
something big, we would have watched
I'm
it.
telling
yeah,
y'all,
but-
once y'all put subtitles on your TV and leave them on, it's the only way.
I'm trying to find the name of
Spoken
that.
like a woman who's got a child she doesn't want to wake up while she's watching TV.
Yeah. It's been that way because it started out with I had two pit bull mixes and having them play fight was like having 4 toddlers in the room. So we could never you couldn't turn the TV up loud enough. So we were like, well, we'll just start watching with subtitles. And now
Honestly, I
6
could
years
be
later,
I
still
could
watching subtitles.
you get such PTSD from that. I could be like out in public somewhere without my kids and hear a loud noise and be like, "You're gonna wake the baby
Yeah.
up. Shut up."
Although I will say Maggie sleeps through everything. Like when she's asleep, she's asleep.
That's
So,
good. They say
yeah.
they say to be loud because it
Yeah.
trains them to be able to sleep through it.
That was
and-
ours when we had Madeline, because we made the mistake. Mia like needed to be like rocked to sleep and like
Yeah.
everything needed to be perfect. Like Madeline, like the first thing we did was starting like screaming in her face every time she tried to sleep, just so she got used
I
to it.
mean, we talk lower when she's asleep, but Brody, like all day long, Brody will not bark. The minute Maggie goes to sleep or like she realizes Maggie's in the room, she has to bark at everything to tell us there's something there. So now we're like, well, you're just going to learn that there's going to be a loud noise unpredictably.
How many people are on the BGH staff, i.e., podcasters, article writers, reviewers?
I do not
Okay.
know.
I couldn't tell you.
Because there's also
Yeah.
like there's people who write regularly, but there's also people that pop in occasionally. There's like occasional podcast guests. I would call we're sort of like Chumbawamba. It's like a loose kind of what's the word for that? Like a
Conglomeration.
It's like a
It's a
collective.
Collective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Collective, yeah. Is Chumbawamba that?
Yes,
that what
that was the deal
Chumbawamba
with
is?
them was that they were like a huge group of. There was no like actual members of the group. They were like a big group of musicians that would come and go.
Ah, The Wretched? Was it The Wretched?
Nope.
Are you thinking about the movie?
He's still trying to figure out what that movie was.
It's not Relic, right? It wasn't.
No.
No, it was not.
It might have been 2019, maybe. What's the chance of a BGH meetup happening this fall?
I got it. Terrified.
It's Terrified. Yeah.
Terrified. There you go. I don't know. It's definitely not happening this year, but 2022.
I think we've soft committed to trying to attempting 2022.
Yeah.
No, I would say 100% next year, 0% this year. It's just we're not getting it together in 2021.
How do you deal with the crushing weight of the world?
Not well.
Draw pictures.
Not all the
Turn it off.
Go to grad school while having a baby while working a full-time job.
You gotta
That's
have
fair.
you gotta have an outlet. Like this is
Yeah.
as much as people, jokingly complain about this show. I think it's an outlet to get together and talk about horror movies every week, and you gotta have something that distracts you from the crushing weight of reality.
Yeah, get a lawn. Get a lawn to mow.
For Joe, it's his lawn. I find making music to be a very enjoyable escape. Casey draws during the show. He's doing two things at once.
Yep.
All right, two more here.
Escaping the show.
Could you make the BGH intro music a TikTok sound so I can make a dance to it? I mean, physically, I assume that's possible, but like actually, no clue.
Yeah, we should figure that out. If you want to give me the login, Joe, I could try to figure it out.
Yeah, I'm sure. Honestly, if you send me the file, I'm sure I could make that happen too.
Yeah,
all right, last but not least, how big is John's corner office really?
I mean,
wait, is that like a reference to the office that I have in this house?
I just love this room Schnars records from in his in-laws' house. Like literally, there's a skylight above him. When he turns the camera the other way, there's this crazy like atrium hallway that leads into. It's just like a whole.
It's like a mud room.
Sweeping glass doors behind him.
So this room used to be outdoors. Like it was a second story porch that they glassed in.
Second story porch.
Yeah. Yeah. And they glassed it in.
You just don't just don't hear it when you say it, John. That's the funny part. That's the
Eric,
comedy.
I do hear it. We talked about this these are boomers that own the house. I don't own the house. Like, the house is 30 plus years
you
old.
You own that shirt though.
This is rich shit. This is hot girl boomer shit.
Hot girl boomer shit.
What's the setup like in the new place, John? Like, how's that gonna work?
I mean, it's not great, Joe. You got five people living in an apartment in New York. It's
how many bedrooms?
Ideal. 3 bedrooms.
So 2 of the kids are.
Yeah. Yes. My wife and I share a room, and then 2 of the kids share a room.
That's good.
That's so nice of you and Suzanne to share a room.
But no, this is what I'm asking though. Is one kid getting a solo room, or are you doing 3 kids in the room?
Yeah. Well, so like the 2 older ones have shared a room until now, but my son who's 7 will get his own room, and then the 2 girls who are 5 and 3 will go into.
They're gonna love that when they get older.
They're like super pumped for now.
That's what I'm saying.
If they grow up that way, it'll be fine. But
it's fine.
Eventually, you guys are gonna have to burbs it. I mean, let's be honest here.
You know what? I really, as a person who also is renting still, and like I've been pretty nomadic, I appreciate John's dedication to city/apartment life.
Yeah, I mean,
he's living the dream. Joe's trying to induct you into the cult. He wants to just talk to you about lawn shit.
Listen, I have spent a year now in the suburbs with my family, and I'd rather kill myself.
Can I tell you what, John? You know what I find? It's too quiet for me.
You'd rather die in your chair after walking the dog.
I mean, nobody recommends moving in with your in-laws, John. That's not what I'm saying.
Fair,
John, but it's too. I found like it's too quiet for me because now I go back to where I grew up. I grew up there, but I just haven't lived in a place like that for a long time. It's too quiet. I can hear my like heartbeat, and I don't like it. Like at night, it's the worst.
Again, I have a white noise app. It fixes everything.
Joe, you're also like not that far from downtown Chicago.
We're further out than it's about. With no traffic, we're about a half an hour. So that means we're about 3 hours from.
Jesus Christ.
Have I been to that house now? I can't remember.
You haven't. You've been to the town. We took you out to eat in the town, but you have not been to this house.
Soon as I get on an airplane.
Well, I'm
Coming
out of
excited.
the
I'm
house.
excited for NYC John to return.
Yeah.
Wait.
So are you
You and
gonna
me
cut
both.
your hair when you move back to the city?
Don't do
So
it.
it's funny because Suzanne, who was busting my balls for months and
Now
months,
doesn't
she's
want
like,
you to cut it.
She's like, you don't have to cut it.
Ah,
Oh.
I
Oh.
love it.
New thing is like, you could just get it cleaned up a little bit. I'm like, what the fuck,
John,
How about
you. If she's into it,
Yeah,
you
keep
got to
it.
get that fucking thing cut before you two are in an apartment for 4 days by yourself.
Oh,
Christ's sakes, John.
Joe's worried I have
You
more
don't
kids.
have enough bedrooms for this, all right?
Per our earlier
Yeah, he
discussion.
does. He's got one room that has only one occupant.
All right, well, I guess you're gonna have. Oh, John, I'm terrified. I'm terrified for those 4 days. I need to know when I'm gonna call you constantly.
What school did you go to growing up, John? I want to call and complain about their sex ed program.
Yeah, come on. Don't besmirch Pencrest High School. It's
John,
the best.
John graduated magna cum laude.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Oh Lord.
this is going great.
I don't think we know what we're watching next week, do we?
No.
Now,
Yeah.
2 weeks though. Book of Spiral Saw, the book Spiral, the Book of Saw / Chris Rock.
The one that John's adamant we go to the theaters to watch, but cannot make it.
Eric's the one.
No,
who
I'm
wants to do
down.
it.
I need to see that.
I don't have any theaters open yet, so
Really?
Oh,
Still
Yeah.
nothing.
I don't think any of them closed around me. No, that's not true. Maybe they did, but they're
They
open.
definitely closed. They're open here though. I mean, so.
All right.
Okay.
all right.
Yeah, we don't know what we're doing next week, but we will figure it out. You should, if you're a patron, Joe sends out lovely, well thought out emails every week, letting people know.
I can't even imagine what the grammar and spelling is.
No,
in
it was
those.
funny
I was
because
gonna
so
say, is it literally just one word, like the movie.
I
title?
read it was a whole missive. I read the latest one when I went in to post the Eric show the other night, and at the end you're like, yeah, P.S. Yes, I didn't spell check any of this, but it was all good.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. The one
No.
time that I mentioned it is the one time. It's, yeah.
I read it every week. It's a delight.
I don't think I see it. Otherwise, I would read it. But yeah. So anyway, if you're a patron, you'll get those emails. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and don't forget patreon.com/bloodygoodhorror. You can help support the show. You can get a live stream every week. You can see what we all look like, John. People can see your hair, worth the price of admission alone.
Lovely.
And back episodes of the show. And we may actually, John, be soon like changing how you get back episodes. That's not really ready to be announced, but we're hoping to have some tools soon to make it a little easier. So
We'll see.
keep an eye out for that.
Good dream.
And check out Plug It Up and iTunes and Spotify and everywhere else you get podcasts. CC coming soon. All right, guys. That's going to do it for Boys from County Hell. Hope you enjoy the show. We'll talk to you soon.
See yous.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
bye-bye.